Hello guys, and welcome back to another video with Maddie and David. For today, even though this event took place about a year ago, it is still an interesting experience we want to share with you. This is the first time we moved to an apartment in the heart of Saigon. We decided to move from the middle of Vietnam to here in Saigon, which is in the southern region. Now, moving in of itself is stressful. But moving to a new city in a country where the language is as unfamiliar to me as the customs was even more stressful. Lucky for me, I had David. He did all of the speaking, haggling, and hunting. Now, while apartment hunting, you would usually expect the place to come with some of the basic things like kitchen cabinet, a water heater, an AC unit, and closet space. But this place didn't come with any of those things, meaning we had to hunt them down.
This is what our apartment looked like when we first moved in. The size of our apartment is perfect for us, as it is about 50 square meters, and for our friends that use the imperial system, that means it is around 538 square feet. And the rent for this place is 6 million dong, which is about $250 US. Now, as we are in Saigon, and renting a place here that is fully furnished is possible, but that was out of our budget range. And the interior design wasn't our style, which is why we chose an empty apartment like this.
The cost of furnishing this place was around 1,950 USD. If you had the same budget in the US, you might only be able to furnish your living and dining room. And if you get everything secondhand, then you might be able to decorate your bedroom too. Most of the items we got were brand new. We purchased the majority of our items from Shopee, one of the top-rated and most commonly used online shopping sites in Vietnam.
Now this is day one of us moving in. On this day, we received the fridge and washing machine. And with the help from my brother-in-law, we picked up our first wardrobe. Unfortunately, it needed to be completely disassembled for transport, and as this is second-hand, there were no instructions that came with it. Since we took it apart at the seller's house, we had some idea of how to put it back together after taking some photos, but we still had a few mishaps.
Going into day two, we received many pieces of furniture from Shopee. In my naiveness, I believed it would be easy putting everything together, but boy was I wrong. Something you need to know is that most of the items from Shopee don't come with instructions. And some of the sellers will put all of the screws, dowels, and other pieces in the same bag. I think we even got extra screws once. Anyhow, this made the process of putting together the furniture a grueling one. I thought that it was hard putting together IKEA furniture, but this is like IKEA on crack. Oh, and for some of the items, if you don't put it together in the right order, then you have to take it apart and try again. So if you ever plan on ordering furniture from this site, make sure you love puzzles and save all of the photos of what you buy. Also, patience is key here. It will make the process slightly easier.
Day 3 seemed to start quietly, maybe too quiet. Madi was putting things away in the bedroom while I was putting together furniture in the living room. Everything seemed to be going very well until it came. The reverse osmosis water filter. We ordered this thing from Shopee, and now you may already know it came with no instructions. The only paper we got was one that came with a warning of not breaking a particular piece, not where it goes or how to put it in place. Just don't break it.
After hours and hours of hair-pulling frustrations and video after video that didn't seem to help much, we finally got our water filter working. Of course, we had a few leaks along the way, but in the end, we now have safe, drinkable water. This was something new to me. I've always taken for granted the luxury of drinking straight from the tap. But here, you can't do that as drinking water isn't adequate. So having a good and reliable water filter is a must. We don't want to deal with a water cooler because that means that we have to buy those huge water jugs and lug them up to our apartment. That is why we believed that this water filter was the best option for us. In the beginning, we loved this water filter as it has two different types of filters. It has a pure water filter and a mineral water filter. Cool, right?
We mostly use the pure water, and we would occasionally drink the mineral water. I think if we ever purchase another water filter, we would only get one filter since we hardly ever use the mineral water. Also, we apologize for all of the mess on the countertops. We were still waiting for our kitchen cabinets to come. On day 4, we got our kitchen cabinets delivered, and I was excited because I no longer had to look at a messy kitchen. Finding the cabinets was a tricky process. If we bought some secondhand, then they most likely wouldn't fit in our space. But buying them brand new and getting them custom made would be very costly. So I hunted around for a while and eventually was introduced to these individuals through my brother-in-law.
They were able to make our cabinets. But unfortunately, we had no say in the color, which, to be honest, I found both disappointing and worrisome because I wanted it to fit our style. The total cost came out to around 3.5 mil or 150 USD. This was the cost for everything. They made and installed the cabinets. But along with that, these guys were nice enough to help put up some shelving in our laundry room and move our furniture too when we got it delivered. As everyone was busy in the living space, I wanted to be useful and get the bedroom set up. I had a vision for the space and knew where I wanted everything. The one issue was that some of the furniture was heavy, but I believed that my time at the gym had paid off and I didn't need no man to help me. So with my will, determination, and all my muscles, I got our room organized and looking homey.
I honestly had no idea what she was doing in there as I was still busy in the kitchen. And I have to admit, the way she had everything set up was perfect. After seeing how she set things up in our room, we worked together to figure out the setup for the rest of the house. In the beginning, we had many disagreements.
I honestly hated the idea of our living room setup. I didn't want the couch to be so close to the door and thought it would feel cramped. But David was so persistent, I eventually caved and said, we will see.
With Madi's reluctant agreement on the living setup, I moved the furniture around while she organized the smaller things. This is the perfect way to divide up the work and put together our home faster.
Going to the next 2 days of our move-in. These days were a bit of a blur because we were just putting everything away and still assembling furniture. Here, I was attempting to put together a TV stand from Shopee, David out doing some other things. So I was literally all alone. It was honestly both enjoyable and frustrating at the same time. I like puzzles and everything, but I hate when it takes so long to figure something out. I somehow managed to put it together, mostly on my own.
On the final day, we received our last few items. These we purchased brand new from the mall next door. We wanted to get these items new because we wanted something that is reliable and long-lasting.
Once we finally made this apartment into our home, we cooked our first meal. It wasn't anything fancy or over the top, but it was satisfying. I'll admit, seeing how everything came together was enjoyable. We were able to turn this blank slate of an apartment into our own cozy place where we were able to call home for a year.
Since we ended up only staying here for a year, we didn't want to accumulate too much, but we also didn't want this place to look haphazardly thrown together. This is why we took our time to decide on each piece we purchased. Here's the breakdown of the cost for each room.
This was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and no matter how stressful it was at times, we still enjoyed the whole process and learned so much from it.
And this is it about our experience of moving into an apartment in Saigon. Note that we'd only stay here for about a year.
Fast forward about a year, and I have to say, we loved living in this unit. Unfortunately, it is time for us to leave and go to another place here in Vietnam to experience what life looks like there. And if you enjoyed this moving experience with us, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our next moving video.
Stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye!